Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list, sorry if you feel a little cheated, only is going to have the top 5. Why am I only doing top 5? Well, I only have 5. Most of my top 10 lists that I do are based around the notes that I actually have. And as I get new notes, then I can incorporate new notes into the top 10 lists and redo those top 10 lists. I can't wait to be able to do a top 10 list for this particular group, but like I said, right now I only have 5. What is it? Well, I'm going to do the top 5 $3 bills that I have in my collection. Now, most people consider a $3 bill fake. Phony as a $3 bill is a very common phrase. And the truth of the matter is that's not exactly the case. Prior to the federal government making money, individual banks could print their own money, and they could print any denomination they want. And believe me, there are some bizarre denominations out there. But the $3 bill was not really that uncommon. You were able to find quite a few. Actually, to the point that if you look at a 1862 $1 bill, one of the security features on there shows the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And on the 1 is circled. And on the 2 is circled, which implies that the federal government were thinking about doing a $3 bill as well. Anyway, I am always excited when I see $3 bills. The problem that I run into is the cost. I don't know how much they are actually worth. I have recently picked up Obsolete Paper Money, a guide with prices from Don Kelly, and this is a ridiculous book. Look at all these different notes in here. This is why the federal government stepped in to print money, because from 1810 to 1862, all of these different currencies that I'm flipping through were used somewhere. And how are you going to know which ones are good, which ones are no longer good, which banks are obsolete, which banks have closed? You have no way of knowing any of that stuff back in the day. Imagine traveling the country and trying to spend money. I mean, it's just incredible the number of different types of notes that were out there. And I'm going to do a review on this particular book as well, just to give you guys an idea of what's in here. But yeah, this book shows exactly why the federal government stepped in to print money, because that's a daunting book with thousands and thousands of different notes in there. So anyway, like I said, the $3 bill always intrigued me. So whenever I see them at a decent price, I pick them up because, I've seen them for, a few $100s, but I'm not quite ready to fork out hundreds of dollars when I'm not sure of the value. So most of my notes were gotten for a very cheap price. So let's get on with it. Number 5 this week. Number 5, this is a $5 bill from the Mechanics Savings and Loan Association in Savannah, Georgia. You can see dated August 4th, 1862. The note is hand-signed. And I know I said $3 bills, and this is a $5 bill. So what am I doing with this particular note in this particular list? Well, many banks were only printing one-sided notes, and if that bank became obsolete, if they hadn't issued any of the particular notes they had left, they would simply use the back of the note to print someone else's. Like this. This has part of a $3 bill on the back and part of a $5 bill on the back. It looks like it's from the Merchants Bank, probably of Savannah, Georgia. So that is how this becomes a $3 bill. The back of the note, like I said, has part of a 3 and part of a 5. And the current bill, like I said, is just rotated and is the $5 from the Mechanics Savings and Loan Association. That is number 5 on my list. Number 4. This is the Office of South Carolina Railroad. This would be known as a script. That's the best way to put it, because this was not authorized by a bank. This was authorized by a company. The $3 note from the Office of South Carolina Railroad, obviously South Carolina Railroad being the giveaway rather than any particular bank, you can see was hand-numbered, hand-dated, can't quite make it out because of the condition of this particular one. Was hand signed, probably hand cut as well. It is in fairly rough shape, all things considered. These holes here, if I remember correctly, are actually cancellation marks showing that the note had been redeemed. One of the big things for anti-counterfeiting measures, you can see how the word 3 is backwards on there. That is this portion of 3, and even if you look at it, you can see it's slightly crooked, and that, I don't know if, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just bleed through, but it's also a way to tell whether the note was genuine or not. They weren't printed on the fanciest of papers. I don't even know how well we can make out the design on here. Yeah, that's a railroad car. You can see the engine right over here with the steam. You can see horses loading up stuff on there. There's a guy on the back of the caboose. So that's kind of interesting to see there. Anyway, Office of South Carolina Railroad $3 note. One of the more cool notes that I have. I've had this one probably the longest. Number 4 on the list. Number 3. This is actually listed in the book. This is the State of Rhode Island Tiverton Bank. The Tiverton Bank will pay $3 on demand. And once again, you can see the train over here. You can see a ship over here. So that's pretty cool. The $3 notes, I'm looking to see what else is in their hands. I'm just trying to get it to focus a little bit. There we go. A little bit of a glare, but that's okay. Looking at the back of this, once again, you can see the 3 portion seeping through. Once again, not in the greatest of condition, but my Tiverton Bank $3 note. This one actually booked out at like 75 bucks or so, even in this case, even in this condition. It's a little rough, but like I said, $3 bills to me are quite cool, so I had to get it. That is number 3 on the list. Number 2. This one would be another script note. Now, once again, script notes are put out by individual companies and things like that, whereas bank notes are put out by actual banks or Federal Reserves or places that are guaranteeing the money. This would be done by a company, and it even says so on it. It says the Manufacturers Exchange Company promises to pay this person, which I can't quite make out, or the bearer $3. It's a hand-numbered, hand-signed, hand-dated note. The back is pretty interesting because there is a signature on the back here, so it looks like this Armstrong is what it says there on the back. So I believe this one may have been redeemed, which is still pretty cool. I mean, this works pretty much like a check, and the fact that you could spend it from person to person, that's how it would be used as a currency. So you could go either way with it. You got the Roman numeral 3 here, the digit 3, it's written 3 here. Just an overall cool note from the city of New York. It says Bristol right here. So that is number 2 on my list, the $3 bill from the Manufacturers Exchange Company. And finally, number 1, one of my newest additions. This one is really cool. This is from the Maryland, the Somerset and Worcestershire Savings Bank of Maryland. You can see it says $3 here. It's in green. You've got the hand-signed portion on the bottom. You can look over here, see that it's hand-numbered, 1569. It does have a little scrape up there on the top, so it's not perfect. But the color on this one is really nice. I've seen other versions of this. Actually, in the book, the 3, instead of being green, was orange. I think they had green for the 5, so those colors would alternate as well. But look at the back. That is just cool. Very bright green. Look at the detail in there. Just an incredible note. You can see the patterns on there. I mean, how much sweeter can you get? And look at this. It says Confederate $3 note, 1862 Maryland. 24 bucks. That's what I paid for this note. I believe this one was somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 in the book as well. 50 to 75, if I remember correctly. But still, a $3 bill from Somerset and Worcestershire Savings Bank. $3 hand numbered like that. They are fixing a wheelbarrow in there, and that's how it was noted. And you can see that there's the wheelbarrow that they're working on the wheel. He's got his anvil over here. So yeah, just kind of a neat setting at a blacksmith shop to go on that. That one is number one on my list. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. And of course, if you have an idea for a list, don't forget to leave that down below. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.